course, she's not wrong to feel that this shouldn't be, because what I'm saying is that intimacy and friendship is almost getting out of the window, and the bond of friendship and love that you find together is getting weaker and weaker, and that is not something that should continue. But like I said, she has to ask herself, what will my husband be? We don't have our husband here, like we don't know our husband, so she's the one who will judge whether I can actually frontal this conversation, knowing that my husband will be able to. We can have that conversation. If the person is the kind that maybe struggles with vulnerability and they react in an extreme manner, it simply means that you have to be a bit more subtle in your approach to solving the problem.
Okay.
And I think one of the first questions I will have to ask her, and what she will also need to ask herself, and probably find ways to ask her husband, is why did he marry her? Why did he marry her? What was he looking for in her? And she also has to ask herself the same question: why did I marry him? But I think the more crucial one is, why did he marry me? What did he see in me? What was he looking for? Because we realize it or not, we admit it or not, all of us have our fantasies about marriage.
Okay.
And we have what we are looking for. Sometimes it's locking. Can I continue?
Yes, please go ahead. Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes some of those inner desires are lurking in our minds, and sometimes we ourselves, we are not even aware of it until we get into marriage, and you find that, you just find yourself going in that direction a lot. For instance, a baby man who have grown up in a situation where her dad, maybe they didn't have money, or her dad was not providing, and the family struggled and all of that.
Yeah.
She may inadvertently or unintentionally be looking for somebody to pay off her bills. She may be looking for, a rich person.
Okay.
She will tell herself, I'm not a gold digger and all of that, but something there's a gap in her mind, there's a gap in her problemally that makes her to gravitate towards people who
provide.
So this guy, for instance, is it possible that I don't know the man? Is it possible that someone, maybe he has kept himself for marriage, and maybe he had some struggles with loss or even womanizing before marriage, and one of the things he was looking for in marriage is somebody that will give me safe sex. Somebody with whom I can just have this sex, and maybe the guy has struggled with, maybe he has high libido, and he just feels that marriage is, somebody to provide me
intimacy and everything.
Yeah. And that's really what. Yeah. Come again.
I said it's just he has struggled with lust, and all that he's looking for is just someone to provide him with intimacy and safety around coitus.
Exactly. And the day he saw her, he saw maybe a figure eight or something that just meets his sexual desires, and that's why he married her. So obviously that kind of person is not looking for friendship. He's probably not looking for partnership or anything. He's not even looking for a good mother for the kids. He's just looking for someone that can give him sex. And once he has that, he's satisfied. And he will find out, it will be a discovery for him to find out that, okay, my wife, I'm actually supposed to talk to my wife. We're supposed to be friends. We're supposed to, be intimate around other aspects of life, not just in bed and all of that. It's a discovery for him, and it's wondering, how do I manage? Because this is actually what I'm looking for. So the question needs to be asked about what exactly was he looking for
when he married her.
Because if for instance, if this man was someone who said, oh, I want to build a conglomerate and I need a woman who is intelligent, who can reason with me, who I can envision the future together with, definitely he will be initiating conversations about the future.
Yeah.
He'll be initiating conversations that are intellectually stimulating. But if he's not doing that, probably, I say probably because we don't have him in
the full details. Yes.
We won't know.
Yes.
Yeah. And like I said, the question has to be flipped the other way around herself. She also needs to ask herself, why did I marry this man? Because if you marry someone because of their good look or because of whatever it is and all of that, and then you get into marriage and they are not giving you friendship, you have to remember that wasn't what you were looking for. Because if you were looking for friendship, you probably saw somebody who couldn't give you the friendship that you're now looking for. If it was really friendship you're looking for, you wouldn't have married this person. So, and I'm not judging them, because some of these things, at the stage when we are getting married, there are some needs that are front-loaded in our mind.
Okay.
And you're telling yourself, this is my man. But as you grow up, other needs show up. For instance, she might be at a stage in life now where she's realizing the importance of friendship. maybe while they were dating, maybe none of this was really that important. We vibed together, we had that connection, the energy was right. Maybe they slept together and it felt really great, and she just felt this has to be my husband. But now, 5 years down the line, she's finding the need for intimacy, finding the need for partnership, finding the need for friendship to be quite higher than just sleeping together. So the question that she also needs to ask herself, what exactly was I looking for when I met this guy? Why did I say yes to his proposal?
Okay.
So those are some of the questions that I feel we need to ask.
Okay, thank you very much for.
Continue?
Yeah, I was going to ask a follow-up question, but then thank you so much for putting this much out there, and of course making us understand that the foundation may have been faulty. You know, you talked about the fact that what was the intention of getting married in the first place? What kind of conversations did you have? Were you open about your desires? And, you know, probably there were struggles already, and these people didn't see themselves in the light of friends or even intimacy outside of what they, and we can't ask all of these questions because of they're not here right now. But then, of course, they just sent this information and gave us as much as they felt we needed. But then looking at the questions that she herself asked, like, okay, so there has been an establishment that there is a problem around the fact that this person has a transactional approach towards their intimacy in the other room. That's what, and we would like to keep it as intimacy and maybe not use the sex word just because we know that some kids might be listening at the time. I apologize for putting it out that way. But then, knowing that,
apologies for that.
Yeah. Okay. So
I'll adjust my language.
The language.
Forward, yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. So now looking at this particular perspective to things, seeing that the man may have had, you know, these questions in his mind as well, but he doesn't even know he's doing something wrong, and they didn't have this much of a conversation when they were married. Now they're married, 5 years down, 2 kids, and they have this very big elephant in the room. Now, from the look of things, it's the wife who has noticed, and she's the one who has brought this to the notice of Family Matters to say, let's talk about this and we need help. How do they start to work towards recovery? We've established the fact that they may have had the wrong intentions going into this marriage. Maybe just to meet a need or just to satisfy a need around intimacy in the other room. But then, how do we work towards recovery? Because now there's 2 families involved. There are 2 kids, innocent kids who may not even understand that mommy and daddy are going through a lot. Maybe they would start to understand when they are much older. But right now, the wife has identified that there's an issue and she wants to work towards recovery. How do we come back from this, sir?
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, the recovery, we won't get to recovery if we do not know the source of the problem. Yeah, we will not get to recovery. And that's part of why the questions I put out earlier, she actually needs to start from that. It's when you know the source of the problem, that's when you can fix it. And I think another angle to also look at it from, another question I would like to ask her, and she also probably needs to ask herself, what was the nature of our relationship up until now? Have they always been like that? Was there a point where they really had intimacy
some level
beyond just physical intimacy?
Okay.
Yeah, what is the history from their dating years into the 5 years in marriage? 5 years in marriage. So what is the history of their friendship? What is the history? Was there a season when they used to laugh and play together and speak and talk about other things, and they really had, you know, that friendship and all that? If the answer is yes, she then has to trace back at what point did things change and what has happened that made things to change. She also needs to ask herself that question. Is it possible that, I mean, they have 2 children. Is it possible, and I'm just saying this because I don't know, she has to ask herself the question. For instance, is it possible that the point at which 2 children came, she devoted herself a lot to kids, the husband began to feel left out, and that was the point at which their friendship broke? And the husband might have felt like, okay, I've now been replaced with these 2 children. Of course, taking care of children is not easy, and that would probably have taken a lot of attention.
Yeah.
How did the husband manage that feeling of life? Is it possible that something happened there? That's another question too. And also, this is also a 5-year-old marriage.
Yeah.
The romantic fire that gets people into marriage, the science has proven that it is a temporary thing that doesn't last forever.
Wow.
Romance is a chemical reaction that has an expiry date. That's what I tell people. Romance is a chemical reaction that has an expiry date. I'm not saying something that I thought about something that's been scientifically proven.
Okay.
And the assessment is that for an average person, the energy of romance will last for between 6 months and 3 years for an average person. Some
scientifically proven. Wow. That's
absolutely.
wow.
Romance is basically hormones interacting with hormones. It's just hormones in our body. It's just container interacting with container.
So why do we sorry to ask this question in the middle of this train of thought, why do we place so much of a premium on that particular concept, the romance? Because it's like movies have painted it so much, the wedding complex industry, where all of these things in movies, in the wedding planning and all of that, it's like what makes it to the forefront of the pages that we see is what maybe attracts most people into this conversation of love and marriage. Why is there so much premium on something that is so fleeting?
Okay. So you have just highlighted the major root cause of marital problem. That is one of the major culprits of marital problem, because many people made a long-term decision based on a short-term feeling. That's what happens. I compare romance. We can be on this one on its own for the next few minutes that I have there. The effect that romance has on us is similar to the effect of being drunk on alcohol.
Wow.
So many people were deciding their future partner while under the influence of alcohol, literally. That's the effect that romance has on us, and that is part of and that's why, like you said, Hollywood, sometimes even Nollywood, all the novels,
the movie industries and everything, yeah.
And even sometimes. Yeah, even sometimes married people and all the things that they show us on social media.
Yeah.
Where they are showing us the 5% of their life where the romance is great, and they are not showing us the 95% where they are fighting and arguing.
Wow.
All of that has contributed to people thinking that marriage is about romance, and marriage and romance in the equation of marriage is just like salt in a soup. Salt cannot be the major ingredient in your soup, otherwise it's going to be sour.
Yeah.
You need salt, but you need it as more as possible.
In moderation.
Because too much of it in moderation. Too much of it will blind you. Too much of it will make you to make unwise decisions that you may later regret. So, going back to our dear sister, is it possible that I was talking about the trajectory of their relationship? Is it possible that they had arrived at that stage in their relationship where the energy of romance has waned? And maybe because they made the decision to marry each other largely based on that they didn't have many other important elements in the equation that are announced. Because that's what happens. When the energy of romance wanes, the relationship suddenly becomes empty.
Wow.
And we're suddenly wondering, why am I even in this boat with this person? Why? Because all the other elements that are very important were not properly checked and discussed and high on that, and we didn't build the right foundation at that stage. That sometimes can also be what this couple is doing. And it may just mean that we need to go back to the foundation of this relationship. Some couples actually need to go and take a proper premarital counseling program, I'm being honest.
Wow.
Most people
who are married should go and take premarital. Wow. It's interesting.
Absolutely.
It's interesting to
From
hear.
A professional, yeah.
Wow, it's impossible. It's interesting to hear that even people who are already married probably didn't get their premarital conversations right, and this can go on to maybe ruin marriages and even ruin family lives in the course of this, of things. Now, okay, so a conversation like this where you've identified a problem and there's a possibility that the other person doesn't even see that there's a problem. How do you have this conversation without messing with the egos, without escalating and then causing some more trouble? What is the safest way, quote unquote? I'm not sure there is a safest way, but then what is the best way to have this conversation without destroying what you already have on ground?
Absolutely good question. So what this lady needs to do is first to ask herself, what are my husband's interests? What are my husband's love languages? That's the question she needs to ask herself.
Assuming that she even understands that he has a love language.
You said what?
That is assuming that he has that she understands that he has a love language.
He may not understand that he has a love language, but she, being his wife, should know what his love language is. If he does not know, she needs to do a bit of finding, and she can find out. he probably has some friends that she's she's there silent in the car with his wife, but he probably has some friends that she's all loudmouth and all chatty, chitty chatty and all of that, and excited when she's around those friends.
Okay.
Those are the people that can help her. So our family members, where that she's really that he really has a warm and wonderful relationship with. Those are the people that can help us to find out what are the things that get him talking. Everybody has their movement. Everybody.
And it's amazing.
Everybody has their move button.
I like the fact that you use a common lingo, mumu button. It's very very important.
That's what I like to call it. Yeah. And if he's able to find, so for instance, the room is silent when they're in the car and all of that. There are subjects that he would bring up that she will see her husband talking in a manner that he has never talked before.
Wow.
That's the truth. Everybody has it. Ewa, you know what I'm talking about. You go watch football, you are meeting other guys, you don't even know their name, you don't even care whether they are serial killers or armed robbers or whatever. You start a conversation about Cristiano Ronaldo
and
everybody's
Messi
on top of their lungs.
Yes, definitely.
Screaming and shouting and all that. You don't even, that's how it is. So there are things that get her husband's attention at that level. And she needs to insert herself in those interests and begin to show that, okay, what are the things that interest him, and begin to bring up such conversation. And also, like I said, find out his love language. If it's physical touch, if it's word of affirmation and all of that, he needs to begin to speak those things so that she wants a way into his heart. Everybody has it. Everybody has a way that somebody can warm their way into your heart. Once she's able to do that, then she can almost jokingly, almost playfully show it in one day and say, my wonderful husband, what did you even see in me that made you to even propose to me in the first place?
Which is a valid conversation.
It was not like a joke. You understand? And of course, she needs to continue to give him, that physical intimacy very well. And all that. And even psych him that, you are the best. You are just so good. And all that. Those are the ways, because definitely he's interested in that aspect as well. Anyone any woman who knows how to use her mouth to strike a man like that can get away with anything and can have any conversations with him. That's the truth. No matter how wicked the person is.
Okay, thank you very much.
That's the wisdom she needs to use, and then from there she can progress to more questions, and then they can discuss further.
Okay, thank you so much for giving us a background on what the issues could have been, on how the foundation could have been faulty, also telling us about what is needed to fix a faulty foundation, which is you asking questions, understanding where you may have gone wrong. It could have been along the line after children were had. It could have been from the fact that at the beginning of this relationship, there was no proper counseling. And like you said, it is necessary that some couples sometimes need to attend premarital classes again. And we appreciate you so much for coming in to have a conversation today. But then if we would like to reach you, probably the lady listening right now wants to reach out to you and ask other questions, how can we find you on social media?
Okay, you can reach me on Instagram, bliss.catalyst. You can send me a DM on bliss.catalyst. And I think, Ewa, you can also share my phone number with this lady. Okay. You can reach me on WhatsApp through my phone number. You can have a conversation. And anyone else who needs support, you can reach me on bliss.catalyst on Instagram.
Thank you very much, sir, for making out time to have this conversation with us and give us much knowledge to me and the people listening. We do appreciate it, and we do not take it for granted. Thank you so much for making out time to be on the Family Matters show today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, that is the size of the conversation. You can actually reach out to Shewa Folayo on bliss.catalyst on Instagram, or just reach out to me at OSY Based on Instagram, or join the Super FM Breakfast Clubhouse at Super FM Breakfast Clubhouse. You can send a WhatsApp message to 0705 69000927. Let's talk about matters of the heart. Let's see into some of the conversations that you need to have as a family and help you come from a place of no understanding in your marriage to a place where you have a lot of answers that can help you grow. Shema Falanyo, of course, is a pastor with the Elevation Church right there in Ibadan. But then you can reach him on Instagram, like he said. I will be getting back to the music right now. I've got something coming in from Banky W. If that person was made for you, I guess you should be able to find a way to have conversations, even when it seems the weirdest.
Baby, I've been searching for my own love. And you made me feel like now my life has just begun. Hey, I'm so glad I found you now, my work is done. And it's perfect mathematics when two become one. Baby, I agree. Baby girl, you complete me. It's an awkward dream if you know what you and I were meant to be, baby. Just like the stars were made to light the skies, hey. And like the pretty birds were made to fly, like the sun was made to shine, and the moon was made for night, like the sky is blue. Baby, I was made for you. I was made for you. You were made for me. Baby, can't you see that I was made for you? I was made for you. That you were made for me. Baby, can't you see that I was made for you? Never thought I'd feel the way you make me feel. Cause your loving feels so good. Darling, is this for real?